Hi, this is Reese from Creatacrm, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can manage quotes and templates. First points we're going to be looking is using the quote templates, and that is able to have a series of items already in there predefined, and you can insert all these different segment of items into your quote to make it quicker and easy for you to do quotes. Next one is actually sending reports out. Now we've got two ways to send reports out. One is through reports, and you can send an email to a report, which just goes to PDF or a Word document or whatever you want to have. The second option is you can actually send an email template, which I'll show you. It's an innovative tech that we've designed ourselves, and it gives a lot of freedom for a lot of our clients who just wanted to send a pure email out to the client, and it makes sense that way. Then the third item is sending quotes to jobs. Now that's pretty powerful because when you go to MYB plugins and different things like that, we actually really tightly wire the jobs together so you can actually get expenses and quoted items and profits and all those things fused together inside of quotes and jobs. Now the other item is obviously just going quotes to invoice, which is as simple enough as that. We can show you there, and then all the different reports we have inside of quotes. So let's show you how it looks. Now first we can just go to a contact or a company or an account, depending on what you're managing at the time. Now we're going to go to contact and click on the drop down menu here where it's the new item, and you can select quote just over here. Now that just brings up a quote name. You've just got the, at the moment you just type in the name of it, so this is a test quote in here. The next thing you've got here is it defaults to obviously putting the name, the contact name in here as well, and the organisation that you're connected to. Primary company, if you want to, just type in the company name, and it already puts a quote number, which is 382, and it increments up here. Now we're going to select the items in here. If you want to select an item, you can just click on the item, and as you can see, it starts. You can put the item across. Bear with me for a moment. I'm going to zoom out a bit to give myself some room, and I'm going to type in a particular element of the quote. So it's like Creatacrm, and it pre-types in a particular item. So I'm just going to choose basic training in here. So it just puts it in here. And it pre-types and calculates the price is $160 and the quantity is 0 at the moment. I'm just going to type in 1, and it calculates the amounts in here. Now, as I mentioned beforehand, is that if you, which we prefer and encourage people to do, is that you want to actually use your quote template facilities here. So there's an element in the tool drop-down menu. You've got all these different items in here. Now, one is actually inserting a quote template, which you click on here, and here's all the different quote templates that I've got. I've got different modules, and that helps people to just have a selection of modules. I'll also go and show you what that looks like very shortly in this system. So I'm going to say this person is looking at the MYB plugin. So I click on that, and it then does a series of items in here, and I save and close that. And there they are, all these different items inside the quote. So that already puts those items in there and the prices in there in here. Now you can continue putting different modules in here if you want by selecting on them and different elements of the that you can put in here. So I've just done a nice quote. You can actually drag and drop them, so you can click on the edit facilities over here, and you can also order them as well for quoting purposes. You can just go, I want to move this to the top, and just a bit more of the training side of the fence needs to be further up, and you drag and drop up to the top, for example. Training, and back in here. So you've done a particular quote, and we're now going to save and close this. And there it is. So that gives you a total of $1,000 in here, and the elements here as well that you want in here. Now, as I mentioned beforehand, you've got a quote template sections over here. I just want to quickly show you what that looked like at the time. So you can click on quote templates, and you've got all these modules, and you can pretty much click on that and add the selection of items in here as well. You can put the default quantity in here. You can see 2's in here and 1 quantities in here and so forth. That kind of makes it easy for you to go, you know, if you want to do this group of services, it's going to be 4 items of air, this item here, and so forth and so forth. And that kind of helps you just with developing a series of quotes and make it really quick for you. Now the next thing we're going to do is actually now send a quote either through a report element or through an email. So I'll show you those elements there. So what they are is you've got either a report drop down menu, and here we got is a series of quotes that are connected to the actual quoting items. Now there's a report section over here. I'll quickly show you that we've got a heap of quotes in here. And they all point to different elements of the database. This is quotes, you've got invoices and contacts, for example. Well, there's a couple other reports that explain that more deeper. So we're just simply going to click on Creatacrm main, and you just click on that button here, and that will generate a predefined report that we've already designed beforehand. So this will pop up, and it's got 6 pages, you can see here, and it's got a beautiful nice format that we've got here. Click on next, and just, you know, it's HTML, so we decided to keep with HTML views and looks and stuff. I know that a lot of companies like Xero and many others just really cut down the HTML elements and stuff, as it's a bit of a hard load, because when it comes to quoting facilities, we needed to really have that look and feel. So we've actually, you know, it's got good and bad points to it, but what the great point about it is that you really have a beautiful views that you can design in these description sections over here. Now then the next thing you do, there's a paperclip saying email the attachments to the contacts. From there it will pop up the screen, and you can say, for example, type in Reese Harper in here, and then the subject across. Now we have a template sections over here for email templates. You can choose anything here, so I'm going to go warm, which is warm fuzzy quotes, and we can actually select that particular quote. Now that would also put the quote element in here, and also predefine the subject that email template has. Other things you have, which is, you know, going a bit too heavy into it, but you can actually tag this as a quote, so you can get all statistics of people's clicks and opens off quotes, and that's another story in itself that you can have. The other element here is you can actually, I've saved this as a PDF, and you can click on, and that'll send as a PDF that you can click on, and people can open that area here. The key thing about this is that people can actually open, and you can review people's opens and clicks when you send quotes out. Very beneficial over time, where you'll be able to see who actually is opening the quotes and give you some analytical data about people's interest on these quotes as well. So it's always good to put links on here as well, so see if they're actually clicking on them as well, just to give you attraction. And look, there's some other videos about that where you'll be able to see at the real time what they're clicking on, and that can give you generate ability for you to call, or we can develop workflow to say if they click X amount of times, it will then send out a series of actions for you, like calls and so forth. So I can send that out and simply send it out, and it off it goes, sends across, and we have a background task that will just send those elements across. So it's doing that now. We'll minimize that and move forward to the next stage. The other element that we can do, which is a bit different, which I mentioned from the top of the this video, was that we have something called a send drop-down menu, send email template. What we have found was a lot of our clients just simply wanted to send HTML templates. Now this will automatically connect to the primary contacts, so fills in Reese Harper already, and puts in filling from the conversation from the email template section. Tags again, we can put, this is going to the quote templates, tags for analytics. Now the great thing about that is that, just expand this, what we've done is that, see how we've got all the elements here. So we've got the quotes up the top here, so the quote is up here for $1,000 is the quote, that's the title of the name of the quote itself. Bit of a spell, and what we've got is that, see how it's, you know, put quantity $0, sorry, I didn't put any amounts in there. And you can see where it just brings out a nice look and feel to the actual quote itself. So nice paddings and so forth, and it just means that a lot of people actually just send emails out, and I just, you know, we find when we do quotes out, you know, the PDF option can be intense and people don't see it, and a lot of times at the end of the day, a simple email with the title of here's the amount, here's the products and services you're going to get from it, simple as that, it's a quote. And that's pretty cool, and you can just send that again, send it out really quickly. You could also attach some documents to that as well, and you will get analytic reports about those quotes. So there are two ways of doing it, and very innovative, very quick, and it quick, as you can see, it's very quick to send quotes out and create, and really something that we encourage creators. Very, very powerful with that element as well. Now, once we do a quote, there's usually two directions that two industries people go to. They either go to a job, which is service industries, where I've quoted for 3 boxes of tiles and a technician to tile them up and so forth and so forth. You want to do a job, so we can actually convert that to a job, and when we integrate to MYOB, we can wire it to, when you put purchase orders and invoices, you can actually get the total amounts and all those things. But it's that simple that we can just simply go, you know what, we can send that across and move that into a job, or even a project that's going even deeper. So we just send that across, link it to the actual customer itself, and save and close that. And what you have the ability here is you have checklists, things you've got to do, and the newer versions, which my apologies actually on this one, it will put the quoted items on materials in there and pop them up and tick them through. So you can actually push this through to the accounting system like MYOB and manage the job elements inside of MYOB. So you can have a job, here's all the items you need to do, and that also winds up if you've got the expenses and costs and the sales on connected to this. But what we've done is added a quicker way to do invoices, and also if you're doing things like square meters or linear meters, we can actually inject some code to manage that particular process as well, which helps you guys out. So kind of a very, very advanced facility already that you can see that is now starting to really tick all the boxes for all those different scenarios. Now the next thing we can do is obviously, which is really simple, you can then move this into a invoice. Now if you got 0, which we have on MYOB, you can go skip the whole path and go quote to invoice through 0, or you can send it through here, which is quote to our invoice sections here, which is straight away create a particular scenario. Okay, so what I have to do is link a couple of elements to the quote, and I can try that again. Quote to invoice. Might have a count set to it, so let's do it again. And we'll make it database partners. With Creator, you actually have accounts in here as well. So we've got 3 levels. We've got the contacts, companies, which you can be quite messy with. Accounts you can't be. Usually when we've kept a third element there for accounting systems, ERPs like Xero's and MYOB and other systems. So they're kind of their space. So we can, when we import that data, it goes in here, then wires it from it down. So it helps us be very clean. From years of experience of doing CRMs, we've found that's been the smarter way to do things. So click on that, go back, quote to invoices. Done. So it's now gone to quote to invoice, and all the items are here, and now got a new invoice number, which is 9349. Now the next thing we will be looking at is reports. So let's have a look at reports. So in here there's something called sales information here. Sales information, you click on here, and this will give you a drum up a number of dashboard reports. Now you can customize these dashboard reports and make that meaning for you, but we've got a set reports dashboards that we've already got in here. Notice that we've got in the tabs, we've got sales opportunities, quotes and invoices, so we've got that nice line of from the different elements. So for example, quotes per month, we can go through all the different reports. Quote per month, send 5 quotes this month, 7 quotes this month. Total amounts, and this will just give you the total of the lifetime of your database. So this helps you out with just the reports get smaller and smaller, and you can actually extend the views of it and so forth, and have it all have a bigger screen when you get into 5 or 6 years in there. But it can handle all that stuff. Last 12 months, and products and services of different quotes that you've done with Creator. So it gives you all these different elements of the products and services. Last again, and the top 15. Okay, so it gives you a lot of different scenarios in the reports. Again, that's all customizable, but more importantly, when you go from quotes to invoices to jobs, we can really wire all those elements together, and you'll be able to see your different KPIs with how many reports quotes you've done. Sorry, how many dollar amounts per month, what products and services you're looking to do, and go through all those channels. So have a more look of Creator, and hopefully this helps, and keep on looking at the videos. Thanks.